Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make Johnny Test's home from the show Johnny Test. You guys have been great. I asked you guys to suggest a load of cartoon related builds that I should make on the channel and you guys delivered. I now have a whole list of stuff that I'm going to be making in the future, and this is number one on the list. If you guys want to see more cartoon related builds, please do remember to comment down below in the comment section. I would really appreciate that, and the more of a particular house that does get commented, the more likely I am to make it. So please do comment down below. That's the most important thing. I hope that you guys enjoy this one. This is actually a really easy build, even if it doesn't look like it. Let's hop into the tutorial. So if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some block of quartz, some hardened clay, some birchwood planks, some birchwood fence, some birchwood doors, some blue wool, some blue stained glass pane, or glass block, it depends which you like better. Also grab stone brick stairs and some polished andesite. To complete the build, we will also need some stone slabs, a block of iron, wooden trapdoors, red carpet, lime hardened clay, and some green hardened clay. And if you want to add anything else or do the interior, you will obviously need more materials. However, these are the main ones. Once you have each one of these in your inventory, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, and I can tell you that Johnny Test's house will fit, including the garden out front, in a 29 block coming across the front by a 26 block going towards the back area. If you like, you can assemble this rectangular shape in your world on the floor to help you better plan out the build. If you do that, you want to come all the way to the bottom front left hand corner of your rectangle, and you want to count in from this first block, and you want to count into the right by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you want to count inwards by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is where we will begin the build. Take this block and place a row of 11 block of quartz directly on top of this block. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You want to do two things. Take this 11th block to the right by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Connect it down to the ground, like this. Also, connect it all the way over to the left to form a nice big squarish shape. But what else do we want to do? We want to take this same block that we extended to the right and stuff, and we want to look at it from a sideways position, exactly like this. So we want to look at it sideways on, and from this block, we want to go towards the back of the build, do an up left diagonal with the block of quartz. Go up on top of that block by 1. Do an up left diagonal. Go up by 1. Do an up left diagonal. Go up by 1. Do an up left diagonal. Up by 1. Do an up left diagonal. Left by 3. 1, 2, 3. Do a bottom left diagonal. Down by 1. 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 Then do a bottom left diagonal and connect all the way down to the ground to give you a shape which should look a little bit like this. So you can see that we kind of have this pointy cone effect. Whilst we are busy here, what we want to do is we want to take the top two center block of quartz blocks, which are these, all the way up at the top of the house, and we want to extend these down by 1 with the block of quartz. Then add 4 rows of glass pane underneath this. 1 row, then this is tricky, 2, 3, and 4. Then we want to form a plus shape by adding a layer of glass pane left and right of the 2 center blocks. So we want to have something which should look like this. Now, not only do we actually want this on this side of the building, but if we come all the way over to the opposite side of the building and we take the equivalent corner block here, we want to form the exact same shape. So that involves taking this block, doing an upright diagonal, go towards the back, placing 1 on top, upright diagonal, 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 go to the right by 3, 1, 2, 3, to a bottom right diagonal, down by 1. 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 Bottom right diagonal, connect all the way down to the ground. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that. As you can see, exactly the same as the opposite side. We also want to have the same window. So we'll take the top 2 center blocks, extend them down by 1 with a layer of quartz, by 4 with the layer of glass pane. That's 1, then 2, 3, and 4. And then I've just got to do a row to the right of this, which is a little tricky. Then take the 2 center blocks on either side and extend them left and right by 1 row, like this. Perfecto. And there we have a mirror image of what we have on the opposite side. Perfect. Now, once you have that taken care of, we want to do a few things. First of all, connect the entire base of the house together using a layer of a block of quartz. So, going all the way around the base of the house, you want to use a layer of block of quartz to form a nice square shape at the base of the house. Exactly like that. Now, come to the front of the house. We're going to do a little bit of modeling here. So, on the front of the house, we want to do this. So, in the front, bottom front, left-hand corner, right here, we want to place, going right, 2 blue stained glass panes. So that's 1, 2. Then, place a block of quartz, then a birchwood plank, leave a gap of 1, birchwood plank, block of quartz, 2 glass pane, like that. What we now want to do is we want to go up on top of the birchwood planks by 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. We want to do the same with the pane, 1, 2, and that will be 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, 2. We want to raise up the quartz surrounding these places. We want to connect the birchwood planks together, top block to top block, like this. And then we want to fill the entire rest of the front of this particular part of the house, which is the front of the house where the front door is. We want to fill this in with block of quartz. So just fill this in casually with block of quartz, like that. Now, we want to take out our polished andesite. And we want to place, coming downwards from the bottom corners of the entrance, which is where these birchwood planks are, we want to place an andesite coming downwards from the corners. Extend the andesite forwards by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, like this. Go up on top of the last andesite you placed by 3 with the birchwood fence. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Place blue wool on top of and connecting to each one of... Basically, place blue wool on top of the fence and then connect them together, like that. We then want to form a diagonal, 2 diagonal layers of blue wool that connect back to the house. So coming backwards and upwards diagonally, we want to have a nice overhang in front of the front door, like this. We also want to create a step down from the front door, so use stone slabs to create a nice lip like this, so gradually coming down from the front door, and also destroy underneath and in between the bottom row, the last row of polished andesite. If you want to add a little bit of light underneath the porchway, I would suggest filling the sides of the overhang in using blue wool, like this, so form like a solid shape. And then I would heavily recommend using, I don't know, like sea lanterns or glowstone or blah 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 underneath, and you will have a nice lit up area. So once you've got that sorted out, this is what we're going to do next. So we now want to head towards the back of the house. On the back of the house, there isn't very much. On the back of the house, we basically want to have the same windows that we have on the front of the house. So we want to take, on top of this row of block of quartz, we want to come all the way to the back, all the way over to the left, and we want to place 2 blue glass going right, like this. Add 2 layers of glass on top of the very first layer of glass, come to the opposite side and do the same thing, so that'll be like 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. We're copying the windows that we have on the front of the house, like I said, like that. Then we're going to fill the rest of the back of the house in using block of quartz. This is going to allow us to this is basically just going to allow us to later add the roof on, which isn't so far off. We are kind of coming up on that, but we just want to have the back of the house filled in. If you like, you can also add a back entrance. It's really difficult to get pictures of Johnny Test's house, so for all I know, there could be the Loch Ness Monster back here, but this is roughly what I've seen is back here. So once you've got that sorted out, we're now going to come once again to the front of the house, and I want to start adding some more details to the house. And by that, I want to add the extra bits of the house. So if we come to the front left-hand corner of the house, the front bottom left-hand corner, which is this block, we want to move backwards from this block by 2. 1, 2. So we're in line with this block right here, and we want to place a row of 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then take this 6th block and go up on top of it by 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do an up left diagonal. Go up by 1. Do an up left diagonal. Up by 1. Up left diagonal. Left by 3. 1, 2, 3. Do a bottom left diagonal. Down by 1. Bottom left diagonal. Down by 1. Bottom left diagonal. Go all the way down and connect down to the ground. Then, take the block that hits the ground, connect all the way to the front of where you were building, and also connect that block to the side of the house. So, what we want to have should look a little something like this. Perfect. You can fill in the side of what you've just made using a block of quartz. So you can completely just fill in the side of what you've made using a block of quartz like this. Now, once you've got that sorted out, we have to fill in the front of this a little bit. So come all the way down to the bottom front left-hand corner of what you've just made. Place, going right, a block of quartz. Then 2 blue stained glass pane, 1, 2. Place 2 block of quartz going right. That's all you need to know. Add 2 layers of glass pane on top of what you've just made, 1, 2, so you want to make the window 3 blocks high, and if you like, if you're kind of figuring out the dimensions of the house, you can take this 6th block that we started like adding diagonals to and stuff, you can extend this to the right, and you can connect it down to the bottom frame of the middle of the house. So if you want to form a shape, it would look like this. You can do the same thing on the back. You can take this corner block and you can extend it towards the center of the house and connect it downwards in a similar fashion, if you're looking for like solid shapes that we'll be filling in later. There's nothing on the back of the house now. So we now want to come to the front right hand side of the house. We want to come to the bottom front right hand corner block, which is this one. We want to move backwards from this block by 2. 1, 2. We want to take this second block and place a block of quartz coming out from it. We want to go up on top of this by 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We then want to go right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then connect downwards, like this. Add 2 layers of block of quartz on top of what you've just made. 1 layer, and then that will be 2 layers, like this. We now want to come to the side of what we've just made, this side in particular, and we want to take this corner block on this side, the highest block, and we want to do an upright diagonal from it. Go up by 1. Do an upright diagonal, up by 1, upright diagonal, right by 3, 1, 2, 3. Do a bottom right diagonal, down by 1, bottom right diagonal, down by 1, bottom right diagonal, go all the way down to the ground. Not only should you go down to the ground, you should connect all the way back to the start of your build. You should also connect to the house, and if you like, you can also once again form these solid shapes that we did on the opposite side. So you can fill in these shapes like this. You can make solid shapes out of what you've just made. So you want to have something which should look a little bit like this. So this is actually a little bit different in that this is our garage. So what you want to do is the front square space that we have here, you want to place a layer of blue wool behind and inside of this empty space. So we want to have something which should look like this. We also want to have a way to open the garage. So I've opted for using two facing stone brick stairs facing together forwards like this, because that's what the actual latch looks like in the Johnny Test house. And that is a garage. Looks quite nice. Now, once you've got that taken care of, ladies and gentlemen, it's actually going to be time for us to start assembling the roof. Yeah, we're going to do the roof. There's a few components to the roof. Let me show you. So, starting from the front center part of the house. So come to the front of the house, come all the way up to the top. You want to take these two rows of quartz that we have at the top, and you want to place blue wool in front of these two rows of quartz, like this. This is going to be the beginning of the roof. Then you want to do the same thing to the rows of quartz that we have above here. So you know how we have all of these rows of quartz? Also place blue wool in front of every single quartz that you have. So in front of the frame of the house that we have at the top, this kind of like coney sort of triangular shape, you want to place blue wool. You also want to do the same thing on top of the row of quartz that you have all the way up at the top of the house like this. And you want to once again place blue wool in front of the quartz coming all the way down to the back of the house. And when you get to the back of the house, you want to place blue wool in front of the top two rows of quartz. And you want to do the same thing on the opposite side. And what we're essentially doing here is we are marking out where the roof is. So we want to have something which should look like this. Now we want to do two things. We want to extend the roof outwards, left and right, by one row, so we want the roof to overhang the side of the house. It looks better this way. You don't have to do it, no one's telling you to, but I will tell you that it does look ever so slightly better if I do say so myself, which I do. So just add an additional layer of blue wool coming out of these sides of the roof. And later on, I'm not going to be doing this now because there's no reason to elongate the tutorial, and later on, all we'll have to do to complete the roof is we will have to connect one side of the roof to the opposite side of the roof. That's all we have to do. Now, what do we want to do next? Well, there's more roofs. There's not just one roof. So, if you come to the front bottom left hand side of the house where we made this extra room, you want to fill in all the way around the window inside of this empty shape in with block of quartz. So completely fill this in with block of quartz. Do the same on the back. So fill the back of this in with block of quartz like this. It'll take a second or two to do. Once you've done that, come to the front again, and you want to take the top two rows of block of quartz of this part of the house that's to the left. Take these top two rows and place blue wool in front of the two rows of quartz. Then place blue wool in front of all of the other quartz block coming all the way up towards the top, like you did with the top center part of the house. You also want to place quartz on top of it. You want to place blue wool on top of the quartz, and you want to come back to the house and you want to place blue wool in front of the top two rows. So you want to have something which should look like this, exactly the same as we did up there. The side roof also wants to overhang by one row, like this. The side roof also wants to overhang by one row, and we will then, later on, not now, we will later on connect this roof to the center part of the house. So we'll be talking about that in just a moment. But we not only want a roof on the left here, of course we want a roof on the right. So if we come to the right, we want to do the same thing. So first of all, we just want to fill in the back part of this house in with a block of quartz. It's just easier. You can even fill the side in if you so choose. It's not really necessary to do the roof, but it's up to you whether you want to add it or not. So I'm just going to casually fill all of this in with the block of quartz. It'll take a second or two, as everything seems to, and boom, we filled that in. But now we have to add the roof. It's the same as the opposite side. We want to take the top two rows of the garage and place blue wool in front of them. We also want to place blue wool in front of and then on top of the quartz that we have just right of the garage, like this. Just fill it in. At the back of the garage, same story, 2 rows of blue. Have the roof overhang the side of the house by 1 row. You guys know what's up. So we just want to add an additional row off the side, and there you will have the same thing that we have on the opposite side now, like that. Now, what is going to happen next? So the next order of business is for us to fill in the roofs, but that's not the only job. On the side of the house, you will notice as you fill in the roof, so as you connect the roof to the right-hand portion of the house, you only have to go as far as where the center of the house is, so it will come this far, right? You will notice that there is going to be like missing quartz block, like this. What you have to do is you have to add in block of quartz everywhere on the side of the house that isn't going to be covered up, if that makes sense. So you want to place block of quartz everywhere that isn't going to be covered up. So you would do the roof first, like this. So connect the roof to where it's supposed to go, and then you would fill the rest of it in with block of quartz. I'm going to do this on the left hand side. I'm going to do this on the right hand side. I'm even going to do it to the top. I expect you guys to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go away, I'm going to do it off recording because it's going to take a really long time, and then I'll be back and then we can sync back up. So as you guys can see, I have finished filling in each one of the 3 roofs, and where necessary, I have filled in the gaps underneath the roof using block of quartz. I'm sure that you guys will manage to do that no problem whatsoever. Now, for those of you that have done that, you can continue along with me, but if you are working on that, pause this video, hit pause. Once you've finished it, press play, and you can sync up with the rest of us. So now that we've completed that, we have to add some additional details to the house. So what you want to do is you want to come to the front of the house and you want to find the second layer of blue roof. So this would be the first layer, these 2 rows, and this would be the second layer, the second row of 2 rows. You want to come all the way to the left hand side of these 2 rows and you want to find the third block in. So this is the first, second, third, right here. Place a block of quartz on top of this block. Go up on top of it by 2. 1, 2. Go right by 2. 1, 2. Connect down. Place a block of quartz on top of the top center block of quartz block, like this. Fill in underneath and in between the block of quartz, like this. You might even want to knock out the blue wall behind it first, like this. Then you want to place a layer of blue wool on the upper outer part of block of quartz, so in a triangular formation like this. Connect that blue wool to the roof of the house. Connect it backwards like this. So connect that back like that to give you this shape. You should find that it lines up with the house like this. The glass of the window should be in line with the right-hand pane of window that we have just below it. You guys can see what I'm talking about. Come to the right-hand side of the roof now. The right-hand side, start with the end block and find the third block in. So that's the first, second, third. We want to do the exact same thing that we just did on the left. So we'll place a row of 3 block of quartz coming up. 1, 2, 3. Then go left by 2. 1, 2. Connect down. Take the top center block of quartz, place 1 on top. Knock out the blue behind the quartz, just underneath the window. Place glass inside, and then place the same configuration of blue wool around the window in a triangular shape. Connect it backwards to the house like this, and you will end up with something that should look exactly like that. And that looks fantastic. Now, the next thing that we have to do is add a couple of chimneys to the house. These can be added in a variety of positions, so don't be too upset if you don't like where I'm putting them. You can put them elsewhere. Come to the left-hand side of the house. So you're on the left-hand side of the house. You want to find the third row of roof, starting from the bottom. So that's the first, second, third row of roof. You want to start from the left of the third row of roof, and you want to find the third block in. First, second, third. Place a hardened clay on top of the third block and go up by 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. You then want to place a row of clay directly to the right of that, and place clay backwards from each one of those rows. So in this position, you want to have 4 rows of clay exactly like this. Once you've done that, you now want to come to the very top right-hand part of the middle roof. So come to the middle roof, come to the top right-hand side. You want to find the very top row of the roof, which is here. From the right-hand side, you want to leave a gap of 1, which is here, and you want to place a hardened clay. Go left of that hardened clay by 1. Place 3 rows of clay on top of this. So 1, 2, and 3. Place clay behind this, and there you will have the second chimney. So we want to have something which should look like that. That is the house pretty much complete. If you like, you can add a door to the place. I'd say birchwood door because the rest of the door is birchwood. Plus it closely-ish resembles the doorway from Johnny Test. Now, once you've got that sorted out, there's just a couple of more things that we can do for aesthetic purposes. Mainly, we have to add some paths. So I'm going to grab stone slab and polished andesite. I'm going to extend where the porch is. I'm going to extend in the ground polished andesite forwards, coming out of the porch. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of 6 andesite coming forwards in the ground from the edge of the porch. I'm going to knock in between this, and I'm going to place stone slabs in the empty space. So in the empty space here, I'm going to be placing stone slabs, exactly like this. I'm also going to make a letterbox. To make the letterbox, we're going to use birch fence. We're going to need block of iron, red carpet, and wooden trapdoors. Just left of the edge of the path, we want to place a birchwood fence with a block of iron, with a wooden trapdoor in front, with a red carpet on top. Like that. Easy as anything. That's just a nice simple letterbox. Now we also want to make a little bit of a driveway for the garage. So if you take the left hand and right hand side of the garage and you knock coming out in front and you line it up with the path on the left, you want to make the edge of the driveway andesite. Very much how you made the path coming out in front of the house. So andesite for the edges of this. And then you want to make the center of this stone slab. So the center of this will be stone slab, as you can see me doing now. This bit is one of my least favorite bits. This always takes a while. Whenever you have to like completely delete like rows of grass and stuff, it's so time consuming to do, but it definitely makes a bit of a difference. So you know, you guys can add and take away things as you see fit. You might even add some more things to make this a little bit more like Johnny Test's house. There are things that you can do to make it more factually correct, but in my opinion, make the house look a little bit worse. So now we have 2 drives. The last thing that you may want to do is grab some green hardened clay and some lime hardened clay and add in some artificial grass to the house. This basically means what we want to do, coming from the front of the house, the front edge of the house, coming all the way to the back, we want to knock out all of the natural grass. If you like, you don't have to do this. I like fake grass like this more than real grass, so you don't have to do this. And basically, with this pattern of blocks, 1 row of green, 2 lime, 1 green, 2 lime, 1 green, 2 lime. This pattern of clay extended backwards towards the entire back of the house, replacing all of the grass inside of this big rectangular shape. That is exactly what I'm going to do. Now, I'm not going to do this on recording. You guys have already seen it at the start of the video. I'm going to add some artificial grass, and then I'm going to be back, and then we can say our goodbyes, because that's the last thing that has to be done to this house, and hopefully you guys are in a similar position. And here we go. This is what the house looks like with a little bit of artificial grass added. You don't have to add a border around the house, kind of like what I have, like around the grass, because it does kind of look like a giant waffle or something, or it kind of looks like a grill, but I mean, it kind of frames the house nicely in some ways. If you like regular grass, keep regular grass, completely up to you. But ladies and gentlemen, that is everything you need to know about Johnny Test's house. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to smack that like button. It really helps me out. If you smack that like button, the videos do better, the channel does better, I'm happy, you guys are happy, what more could we want? If you do enjoy the content, please do consider subscribing to the channel. If you subscribe, say hello down there in the comment section and click the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. Very, very important stuff. Also, by the way, this is highly important, probably a little bit more important than all of that stuff. If you do have any more ideas for cartoon-related houses, let me know down there in the comments. Comment what you think I should make next. Incredibly important. For instance, I made the American Dad house, which you can see right here, which I think is beautiful, by the way. If you like American Dad, check it out. I made the American Dad house because you guys wanted me to. And that's the same reason that I made Johnny Test's house, because you guys asked for it. So please, if you don't ask, you don't get. Comment something down below. If you want to check out any of my other content, check out the card system, check out the playlist, check out the description below. Everything that you need is all down there and in there in the card system. I've made all sorts of stuff. I mean, you can kind of see roughly in the background the sort of stuff that I make. I make absolutely everything around here. Check out the card system, check out the description below. I'll give you a nice little fly around. Guys, check out the channel. I'm sure that you will find other stuff that you love. I'm positive. We do so many different things. It's almost impossible that you guys won't find something else that you like. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.